Hey everybody, tonight let's look at a few more Mopars. Before we get into that, jumping over to nobodysplaybook.com and check us out over there. Hey everybody, I'm Chadwick with Nobody Else's Auto. We deal in classic and special interest cars and parts. We have over 1,100 classic cars in our salvage yard, and that's what we do and that's what we love. Thanks for coming by Nobody's Show. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you're new, we're glad to have you here. And this is going to be the show for gearheads. We're going to talk about hot rods, muscle cars, customs, classics, trucks, cab overs. We may even get into some of the newer stuff into the 70s and 80s. We're also going to talk about gas pumps, signs, oil cans, toys, all types of automotive memorabilia. Because here at Nobody's Show, this is your show. We're going to be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 o'clock. Don't miss it. Now let's get into tonight's episode. Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. Tonight, we're going to walk around and look at a few Mopars. It's finally starting to dry out around here after these last couple months of flooding we've had. We're not dry yet. There's still some sections I can't even get into, but it's starting to dry up enough where I'm getting some stuff moved around, trying to get a few things organized that just hasn't been able to get done the last few months. So move some stuff out of this section and kind of see some Mopars that we've got here. So we thought, well, let's walk around a few rows of those. So starting off on the end here, we've got a 36 Plymouth Business Coupe that it's a pretty rough old car, but it would make a great rat rod. Or if somebody's doing a 36 Coupe, there's some hard to find Coupe parts there. Next to that, we do have another 36 Plymouth, this one a two-door sedan. If somebody did want to make a rat rod out of the Coupe, we've probably got enough front end parts and stuff left on this two-door sedan to make that happen. So depending on what somebody wanted, we could put together a really cool rat rod out of these two cars, or somebody that's doing one of these cars, there's a lot of good pieces here. So cool looking nose on these cars, cool headlights. So like I said, lots of good hard to find stuff, or a really cool rat rod out of the little Coupe. Next to the 36 Plymouth, we've got a 36 Dodge sedan. Already sold some stuff off of this car. The nose has gone out of it, got some pretty good fenders. This car was really solid, very little rust in this body, so lots of good pieces left on this. Not a lot left to build, but it was a four-door anyway, so it wasn't a huge loss there, but man, this car's solid, a lot of good stuff. Next to this one, we've got something we don't see very often. We got a 1950 Plymouth. This was actually a true business coupe. This is a short roof, long deck, true coupe body. Somebody disassembled this car years ago for restoration, never got any further with it. Car's stuffed full of parts inside of it. A lot more of it is actually here than what it looks like. But you know, as we come on around the back, you can see it's got the short roof line with a long rear deck. So don't see a lot of these. I've got this one. I've also got a 49 Plymouth that is a true coupe in stock. Next to the little 50 Plymouth, we've got the about a 46, 47 era Dodge pickup. This pickup here is definitely on the rough side, but these don't pop up every day. Definitely want to keep these around for some of those hard to find pieces on some of these. In front of this 47 Dodge, we've got a 59 Dodge pickup, big back window truck. In its day, this was a really pretty pickup. Had all the fancy trim, two-tone paint. Just been sitting for a long time and definitely starting to deteriorate, but there again, these trucks are hard to find and there's still some good pieces left on this one. So as we swing around the front of our Dodge truck here, we've got a 49 Dodge car. This one's popped in the left front corner a long time ago. But there again, this car is a little two-door. Still a pretty solid car with some hard to find two-door stuff on it. Next to our 49 Dodge, we've got a little 50 Plymouth two-door sedan. This is kind of an interesting story behind this car. If any of you remember, oh gosh, it's been probably 6 years ago, up in Nebraska at the Lambrecht Chevrolet auction where they had all those brand new Chevrolets that the guy had never sold, and they put them out in the pasture, and the guy never sold any of his trade-ins. This was one of the trade-ins. I bought this car at that auction. It's rough. It sat there in that pasture along with a lot of brand new Chevrolets for decades, and it was pretty deteriorated, but it still had some good pieces on it. So we were up there, we needed to bring something home, so we brought this and a 52 Chevrolet home that's over in another section. But kind of an interesting story behind that car, coming from that big auction that was literally known around the world. We were sitting in the hotel that night, and there were some guys at the hotel there from Central America that flew up for the auction. So kind of a neat story. It was great getting to see some of those guys and meet some different people from different parts of the world. But this old car, like a lot of those cars from that auction, just sat there in that pasture and deteriorated and deteriorated and deteriorated. So cool story behind the car, but it is what it is. It's pretty much a parts car today. Next to the 50 Plymouth, we've got a 53 or 4 Dodge here. Just another 4-door, kind of a rough old car. This car does still have its red Ram Hemi in it. That's why we wanted to bring this one in. Those old Gen 1 Hemis are getting tough to find. Don't see a lot of them anymore, so this one's still having a red Ram in it. We brought her in and lined her up with the rest of them. Last car we've got in this row is a really rough 49 Dodge. This was a 2-door sedan, but it spent some time upside down. This car here come out of a pasture they were cleaning up. They were cleaning up the farmstead. The crusher was coming in. This car still has some good trim on it and some pretty decent pieces, even though the last several years have been pretty tough on it. But there again, buy it, bring it in, save what we can, or it's going to go be flat. And at that point, there's nothing left, nothing to save, and nobody will ever get a chance to save any of it. So brought her in, put her in the row, and there it is. If somebody needs some pieces for the 49 Dodge. So anyway, that'll wrap us up for tonight's episode. Thanks for being here. We hope you enjoyed going through a couple of rows of Mopars with us. Several more rows of cars to talk about, but that's what we wanted to cover for tonight, since we were moving some cars around and had a little room. So thanks for being here, everybody. Hope to see you on the next episode.